Well, everyone, the Senior Bowl is now over with, at least the practice week, that is. And this is really the time in which the GMs and scouts really get their most information because it's the most game-like situation, even more so than the game. So who are some of the prospects that really stood out from a Buffalo Bills perspective? I wanted to go through a list of 10 players, give you my quick thoughts on each of those guys, and really it's outside of the realm of the more popular ones out there like the Baker Mayfields, like the Josh Allens. So I wanted to go through some of those, and we'll start right at quarterback. And Kyle Lauletta from Richmond is the one quarterback that I thought shone through of the second-tier quarterbacks here in Mobile. The Richmond quarterback showed a really good accuracy throughout the week, a good command of the huddle, just really looked the part out there. And I think he showed a little bit more of an arm strength than maybe his film did. So that's someone that's going to generate some more looks by maybe the Bills and some other teams out there. If the Bills miss out on a first-round quarterback, I would look for Lauletta to be in the conversation on day 2 or maybe even early day 3. Sticking on the offensive side of the ball, how about wide receiver Allen Lazard? Now, we don't know if the Bills are going to prioritize wide receiver a great deal, but if they do, at least in the middle rounds, I think Lazard would be someone to really look at. 6'4", 227 pounds, showed a really good ability to high point the ball this week. So I look to him as someone that they might look to, because we know that Brandon Beane likes his receivers a little bit bigger. Now going to the offensive line, you have to look at Tyrell Crosby, the Oregon offensive tackle. It looks like he has a chance of sneaking into the first round, so if the Bills stick at 21 and 22, he's very much in the conversation of someone they might draft. They do have a need at right tackle because Deion Dawkins likely slides into left tackle, and Cordy Glenn, of course, he could be traded this offseason, and Crosby just showed an outright dominance throughout the week and looked good at both left and right tackle. So I look for Crosby to be someone that could be on their draft list come April. Now we shift over to the land of the defense, because I think this is going to be a focal point for the Buffalo Bills in this offseason and this draft, because their front seven just really needs to be a lot better. And we're going to start right up front with 3 defensive tackles that I think really suits them well. The first of which is Harrison Phillips out of Stanford. The production is incredible. Over 100 tackles this past year for the Cardinal, and really this week 303 pounds, showing he can get through the line of scrimmage and really disrupts things and then hold the point of attack and even bull rush the blocker right back into the backfield. He showed a very good ability to do all of that. Then from NC State, Josh Jones is someone that really caught my eye. I mean, he and his teammate were both here, but I thought he was the better of the two throughout the week and showed an ability with quickness, with bull rushing. I mean, he was outright unblockable at certain times, and so goes for Texas defensive tackle Poona Ford, who is a little bit undersized, but you look at his arms and it seems like he's a little bit disproportionate. But that said, I mean, Poona Ford is someone that is just an absolute nightmare for interior offensive linemen this week, and really looked like he was in the backfield all week long. I really like what he's all about. He might be available in that second round range for the Buffalo Bills as well. Shifting to linebacker, we'll go with a little bit of a edge rusher / linebacker, Obi Okoronkwo out of Oklahoma. Yes, that is a lot of alliteration right there that I just put out there, but I mean, he's someone that can play outside linebacker in a 4-3, can also give you some reps rushing the passer. I really liked his ability. Need to see him bend a little bit better. He might be available in that second round range. And then you can't go much further without mentioning Shaquem Griffin, the Central Florida linebacker who can rush the passer, he can drop back in coverage, can even play a little safety, and just a remarkable story. And if you don't know his story, he's the twin brother of Seattle Seahawks cornerback Shaquille Griffin, playing with one hand. I mean, he's just an absolute inspiration, and he's got a lot of game to go along with the story. And then a more general linebacker, Darius Leonard, South Carolina State. I think long and lean, can really put on more weight. He's up to 225, which is very good for him. I think if he shows a little bit more in the interviews and maybe gets his weight up to about 230, 235, I think he could be right in that 4th to 5th round range that the Bills might look at as a depth player that might have some starting potential. And then lastly, we'll go with the defensive backfield. Now, the Bills already have their starting safeties. They have Tre'Davious White, but they might lose E.J. Gaines in the offseason, which means that someone like Penn State's Christian Campbell, who has really good size, very long arms, and really showed well this week throughout the Senior Bowl practice week. You know, we saw him pick off a pass from Nebraska's Tanner Lee on Wednesday, and then on Thursday he was just a blanket to wide receivers in red zone drills and one-on-ones that primarily wide receivers usually win. So I really like what he's all about, and we'll see if he continues that momentum heading into the Combine in February. So a lot to choose from under the radar type of guys for the Buffalo Bills, and we'll have to see if any of those 10 might stick on the roster like the 5 guys they did in the 2017 season. Thanks, guys.